will get notified in your email. Two-factor authentications and all is actually underway to be implemented. I think by end of this month, two-factor authentication is also coming up. So yep, so several measures in terms of like protecting user funds is already there, and we will keep improvising that. It's a always an evolving journey.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. I truly agree there. So now moving perhaps a little past the financial aspect of it, because we've covered that enough. I would love to talk about in the in the context of communities. So how does your platform foster social engagement among traders, and what role do decentralized communities perhaps play in shaping your platform's ecosystem and the way it's going to grow?
The good part of crypto is like crypto is very much community based. I think
Right.
it's a very, very good thing. We initially, to be honest, we didn't get into direct into binary trading at all. We were doing much more gamified price prediction thing initially. The idea was very clear that we wanted to when our futures is by the time we get to our futures, we already have good amount of retail investors who can get on board. So the price prediction was always the GTM strategy for us because it's fun, it is easier, it gets hands on to people. So that's how we started. But changing from price prediction to actually binomial was a guideline and the guidance that the community did for us. The community started asking, can we get more binomial rather than price prediction? We would love to explore that. And then we built a small pilot, and then we start seeing like a lot more people started, trading and then spending, and they started talking to each other. The other thing is we keep getting like, I'm so connected with communities, not with everyone, but still like a lot of initial people that joined us that I still get WhatsApp messages from them like, hey, can you build this feature? I think that will be great to have. So listening through the community and then building, I think that is very advantageous rather than we as a founder thinking like, okay, this will work and then building it. And if you try to do it in, when I come from Web 2 background, because most of my experience has been in Web 2. Again, in Web 2 also communities have been grasping very nice. But I will say like, in Web 3 it is all about community. It is completely about community, what the community wants, what they are looking for, what they are kind of like wanting is very important. And what we have also observed in our community when we were trying to do this gamified something price prediction or binomial, we thought, mostly early amateur traders will come and the age group of 18 to 24 will be the target group and all. We were proven wrong actually. Of course, we have users 18 to 24 age group, but our lot of our users are actually 30 plus, and they spend like hours with the app. We have users who probably some part of India, they get up like 3 a.m. and they keep trading morning 3 a.m. Makes me surprised sometimes. Like what are these people doing? So yeah, I think we have listened to the community, some of the great feedback, and then build the product has been advantageous, and I am really very thankful to the community for that.
Right. I think what you said makes sense, right? It is very, very pertinent that an entrepreneur or a builder really listens to the user base before building onto a feature or a platform, because ultimately, entrepreneurs, builders, we kind of get into our own echo chambers and we believe that, okay, this is the real problem, when actually it might not really be a valid use case for the potential user base. So it's that is very, very true, and I think that is a quotable quote from this particular episode, that talk to your users and figure out what they want before you actually start building on a platform itself. Now I would love to get your perspective as a founder for how do you expect your platform to be able to perhaps change change or disrupt the traditional financial system, because you do come from the traditional Web 2 space, right? And but you are right now building in Web 3. So I would love to know, how do you see Solus Finance fitting in this landscape and disrupting it?
See, I, I, I'll talk about more on the vision. I think because the vision, if you talk about the vision and why we are building Solus Finance, I think your question will be answered. See, I see crypto. Let's think about this. Secure SEC, CFTC, other government organizations, they might categorize crypto as a security or commodity. But actually, when we are actually coming to a user, crypto is just like forex. That's how I see it, and what I can envision from here, based on several facts that I'm aware of. A lot of these banks, one of my investor, he is building CBDC for Citibank, right? A lot of this bank, they do not want to, for example, Chase, there are other small bank, they don't want to own crypto and buy a lot of asset on crypto because they're probably still skeptic, and they think like, okay, there's a lot needs to be managed, and they do not have that resources also because it's a growing and emerging part. But they are not, they still want to be a play on this. So what they do is like they go to a lot of these institutions who runs CFDs, and then they just try to be in the world of crypto through CFDs because they believe that this is going to be the next forex. So I know personally from a lot of banks do this. If you talk to B2 broker, which is one of the largest top six liquidity provider, and you ask them, what kind of institutions and customers are reaching out to them for brokerage solutions on crypto, you will hear that 99% are the banks reaching out to them and asking for brokerage solution, where the bank doesn't want to do it by themselves, but they want some other brokerage to do it. Why? What is the reason that they are so much interested? Is because they know that eventually what could be the next after ETF. It is going to be the CFDs. It is going
Right.
to be the more like how Forex became normal, for anyone to trade. It is going to be the crypto. And I envision we are not very far of it. I think end of next year or so, we will start seeing more and more things like this on mainstream. So, traditional finance. So the point I'm trying to make through this story is an example is crypto is already on the journey to become a mainstream and traditional. So the fun, the crypto, small thing, it is a group of small people who are doing it. I think crypto has passed that phase just right after the ETF being approved. I think now it is all about just slowly, gradually, it's gonna come mainstream. So I don't see after 18 months, I don't see a difference between traditional finance and crypto finance. And this is an opportunity for all of us in crypto to envision like what could be the next. Look back on like what happened to stock market, look back on like what happened to forex is going to happen for crypto, right? So we as Solus Finance, we have envisioned that, and we are just getting ready to grab that opportunity, which is going to happen in next 18 months or 20 months, right?
Right.
So that's how we are envisioned. That's how we are trying to disrupt. But I mean, I'm very confident. Like 20 months, 18 months from now, crypto is not going to be it's a crypto. It's going to be more and more traditional.
Hmm.
So we are on the journey to break into that tradition.
Brilliant, brilliant. So now moving a little past from your platform and onto the space itself, now we are entering, or we have already entered the new bull market. What is your take on that? What kind of products or niches do you believe as an entrepreneur would do well in this coming bull run?
See, I think what was happening in last bull run was like you have any idea, anything, and you were just building, and people were just in FOMO, that okay, we will miss out on something, and the projects were getting a lot of funds, and a lot of projects did not do well because those were not well thought of.
Hmm.
But what happened in this bull run is I think everyone has learned good lessons, and everyone knows what went wrong, and they are much more aware
Right.
about what is going to give value and what is not. So I think, look, in terms of blockchain, there are two parts of it. One is crypto, one is blockchain, and I think there is another part called NFT. We'll talk about it, that too. I'm not very pro and expert in NFTs, but I have my own views on that. So let's talk about blockchain. I think blockchain technology as it is evolving, and that's why you see a lot of funds goes on the infrastructure. VCs are all into blockchain infrastructure. Why? Because I do see a lot of usability in terms of blockchain.
Right.
You see this. WorldCoin, for example, right? Trying to replace passports and other thing through blockchain tokenization of human details. Then I know personally, I was in talks before even starting Solus, just to give you a little glimpse. We were starting Solus, there was a couple ideas I was also evaluating, and so one of those, I was in talks with the mayor of Denver, Colorado, and they were trying to implement blockchain technology for trafficking system to control traffic
Right.
and all. So I do see that there is a lot of awareness, and then people are trying to experiment a lot. And then this blockchain with AI is definitely on the tech side. The projects which are bringing meaningful value with these technologies. So in terms of crypto, I think I'm repeating
So
myself.
in terms of
Mhm.
blockchain, you think it's mostly on the infra side, which is going to do well in this particular bull run because people have learned their lessons. Is that correct?
Yep, people have. Yep, I think infra has people, investors were anyway also investing in infra going forward. I'm just saying, in blockchain, the real world use cases, for example, you implementing blockchain in RWA, the real world asset, the implementing blockchain in healthcare, implementing blockchain in more, human centric things, like what WorldCoin is trying to do to
Hmm.
avoid fraud and forgery. I think those kind of projects are going to be the long run for next 5 to 10 years. Right, for example, in 2015, 16, AI started. Who knew that? We kept hearing about AI bot, AI chat, but look where AI came today in 2014, right? We are talking about like AI based coders. So basically, basic software engineering role will be eliminated in next 5 years. Why
Hmm.
do you need a basic software engineering role? So I think those real world use cases with blockchain will be the next 5 years. Any project working either providing those infrastructure or solving those real world problems through blockchain, where you can stop fraud, where you can keep data records, where there is lesser manipulation, where you can do more real world asset tokenization. I think those kind of project will keep moving up, and they have a future for next 10 years. In terms of crypto, I think I'll be just repeating myself, is like whatever happened with forex is going to happen with crypto in next couple years. So if you are envisioning anything around that, then I think all those project who are envisioning around how crypto can become a forex kind of thing, I think they will survive and they will have a brighter future in next couple years. NFT is something where honestly I do not have a lot of expertise, but I do understand some of the use cases. What and I can be very wrong here because I'm not following NFTs very well. But although like there's a lot of NFTs happening, but I think what the boom was there in last bull run, that kind of boom is not there. But NFTs are still going to exist. But again, there needs to be some more meaningful utilities of the NFTs that has to come through. For example, like you can use NFTs in more event management systems. You can use NFTs on more on ticketing and e-commerce. I do think, like if done really well, e-commerce NFT on blockchain can be a very big thing going forward. It will just change the way we do shopping. So I think those are some of the areas that will evolve and that can go big in future. Yeah, that's those are the things that I think can be instrumental in next 5 years.
All right. Okay. Good to know. So, Sangeeta, this has been such a lovely conversation. I almost don't want it to end. We've talked about futures and options and binary trading and whatnot regarding Souls Finance, and what you're building is very commendable. But, we are sadly running a little out of time. I would like to now perhaps ask you two questions. One is, do you recommend any resources or thought leaders? Would you like to recommend any to our listeners? And the other question is something that I ask everybody who comes on the show. And I'm asking both of these in conjunction because they are sort of related. If you had to give some advice to, a person who was perhaps coming from a Web 2 background like you have and wanted to, really start building in Web 3, what would be your suggestions to them, or the kind of resources that you would give, reference to them so that they can start living on blockchain?
Yeah, I think for the Web 2 people, I think there is a lot education is required. The easiest way to get it started is to join some communities, join some groups, understand what they are doing. Like, I can just say like how I started from Web 2 to Web 3 is like I started following a lot of people who are in the space, a lot of influencers who were giving a lot of information, good informations about projects, what's happening in the market. So, I think the easiest way is to get started with those kind of things. Then eventually, like, you can get into more IRL events, get in, talk to more people about it. And look, unless like you get your hands dirty, you don't understand much. So you have to, if you are into blockchain, and you want to be a blockchain dev, or you want to be a blockchain, in the tech side of things, I would say just, try to learn. There are a lot of blockchain. For example, I think in India there is Shardium, Polygon. They do conduct a lot of, educational thing where you can pick it up how to build on those blockchain. I think go for those if you want to be a techie on those, and then start taking some freelance projects, and then eventually you will start developing a sense on these technologies, because yeah, these are future belongs to blockchain and AI. So regardless, whatever you are doing, just get exposure to these kind of tech. If you are looking more on the business side, you want to get exposure on trading, crypto, NFT, I think there you have to make your hands dirty. No matter how much you educate yourself, no matter how much you go and read newspapers and market data, I would say, but you just, take some pennies, whatever money you want to get started with, start doing those trading. Unless you do it, you never get the real hang of it. And then gradually, like, if you buy a Bitcoin or any other currency for the matter, I would recommend, if you are just starting new and you don't have much, you just go for the stable and the prominent ones, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, LTC. I think that better than other altcoins, because for those you need to develop lot of understanding. So just do that, and then start following the markets. Follow some good influencers who gives a lot of financial advices, but just know that very less people are actually knowledgeable in this space to give the right advice. So you might end up listening to wrong people and make wrong moves. So avoid those kind of things. Yeah, so that's the way to probably get started in from Web 2 to Web 3. My journey was different because I was just pushed into building something in Web 3. So I just got started with the business and tech side all together in just 3 to 4 months. But if you are not there, you have to do some education, go and meet people, try your hands out. Are the only ways to get started.
I think that's very good advice to give anybody who's perhaps just starting off. You have mentioned a caveat as well that not everybody is very knowledgeable and not everything looks is actually the way it seems. So, be careful, do your own research, but get your hands dirty because that's the only way to get in this space and to really take advantage of this technology, which is going to take over in the future entirely. And as you said, the future is blockchain and AI. So you owe it to yourself and to your future to really look it up. Thank you so much, Sangeeta, once again for making the time to speak to me today. Before we wrap up, any parting thoughts?
Yeah, no, thank you so much for inviting. I think, look, the parting thoughts are very clear. I think crypto has a great future,
Hmm.
regardless, we are dealing with a lot of regulation, ambiguity. But see, this is exactly what happened years back with Forex, years back with the stock markets. So we
Hmm.
are just going through that phase. We're just going through that phase. This is the right time, guys. I keep telling, a lot of people keep asking me, back in India and others, and like, क्या करूं खरीद लूं क्या Bitcoin? People could keep asking me and this, and I keep telling it, look, in your lifespan, you get one or two moments where there is a disruption, a grand disruption happens, and you get hold of it. Early 2000, it was internet. People who got hold of it, they made it big. They are at really great positions now. I think Bitcoin, blockchain, crypto is exactly that disruption. Web3 is exactly that disruption. If you get in on board now, I think the next 15, 20 years is really going to be bright. So those who are listening, if you are unaware of these things, try to educate yourself. Trust me, you are definitely missing out on a very big disruption opportunity that can be instrumental in future.
Absolutely. You couldn't have put it better. Thank you once again, Sangeeta, for making the time to speak to us today. This has been a lovely conversation.
Thank you, Trisha. Thank you.